All right, hello students. This video is going to be all about how to use the online curriculum for your math class, and we are going to start at the very beginning. So in case you need to see any part of this, you can see all of it. So I have just Googled Auburn School District. I'm going to show you how to get into the curriculum. So if you go to the Auburn School District, here we are. Yes, that's our reality right now. If you scroll down, you see this where it says ASD Symbaloo. You want to click on that, and that will take you to our beloved Symbaloo. Here is the best place to start to find the curriculum. You are going to want to click on the giant Clever button that takes up 4 buttons. The nice big one that says Clever. Any one of these squares will work. And when you click on that, you'll see varying, I don't know, I'm a teacher, so you might see this, you might see different things. I have favorited this, so it'll be up at the top for me. Big Ideas Math is what you will want. Or if you scroll all the way down, you will see More Apps. Oh, you will see it when I'm not in the way. Big Ideas, in fact, here, let's move me over here so that you can see better. So the More Apps, this is what you want, the Big Ideas. Click on that, you will see this. Now for you are going to click Log in with Clever right here. And when you do that, it should go straight on to the Big Ideas curriculum. It might say, what's your Google username and password, and then you got to type in your student ID and all that jazz. This is the teacher version. This is not what you see. What you see is something that looks like this. This is what you will see. This is for Algebra 1. I could change this to geometry, but it's the same. Whether you're in algebra or geometry, it is the same. So if you're in geometry, pretend that you see the geometry book, but everything else is exactly the same. So where we are in the chapter should be over here. It might say chapter 1, it might say chapter 7, depends on how your teacher does things. But we're gonna start over here. If you click this continue button, magical things happen over here. So if we click this continue button, it will take us to what's called the dynamic classroom. I love this thing. I love it. I love it. Mwah. Oh, it's amazing. Okay. If you click over here on this menu, see up there in the top right where it says menu, if you click on that, and then you click on this arrow again, and this arrow again, it will take you all the way out so that you can see every chapter in this book. This is for algebra. Geometry, of course, will look a little bit different. But this is hopefully everything that you will learn this year. So if let's say we're in chapter 7 right now, let's click on chapter 7. Now it shows me 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, 7.4. It shows you everything. There's also a fun video in the beginning about the real-world applications of this chapter. So where will you use polynomial equations and factoring in the real world? Watch this video to find out. There are other things, maintaining mathematical proficiency. That is a fancy way of saying what do you need to know in order to be successful in this chapter? What should you remember from having learned previously? So if we open up this, simplifying algebraic expressions, this is something that you should remember how to do from pre-algebra or from earlier this year. They have examples, and then if you click start down here, they'll give you examples to try, so that you know that you actually understand these examples. So they'll give you this, and you type in, the solution is 5x, I don't remember, was it minus 7? I don't know. Oh wow, look at me. And then you click next, and it'll, you can do them all. So you can practice maintaining what you should already know. If we click this red arrow and go back, you can see all the different sections that are in chapter 7. So if we click on, for example, my class is currently in 7.4 right now. If we click on this, you see, wow, you see a ton of stuff over here on the left. So the explorations, we, in my class, won't play around with these too much, but maybe your teacher might, and you can feel free to play around with those. This is all available to you, so if you want, you can definitely play around with that. Objectives and vocabulary. So here is how, at least I make the learning targets and the success criteria for each lesson. I do it by looking at those. Maybe your teacher does the same, but this is everything that you are going to learn in the chapter. Here's the core vocabulary, so all the words that you need to know the definitions of. If we click on one of them, let's do factored form, it just pops up. The definition just pops right up there for me. And if I scroll down, it's in Spanish, and I can change this to Vietnamese, and it'll put it in Vietnamese for me. I can change it to French. I can change it to anyone. Oh, you can't see that. Why can't you see that? I don't know. But I can change it to any one of the languages that they offer. They don't offer a ton. There's not Ukrainian. I'm grumpy about that. But there is Spanish, Vietnamese, Korean, quite a few. So if you are needing that, that will be a wonderful resource. And then we can just click out of that and go back to where we were. So these are the vocab words that will be new to this chapter, and these are all of the vocab words that hopefully you've already seen before, either in previous chapters this year or in like last year or 8th grade or 7th grade or something like that. You can click on the core concept. This is what, in my class, I take screenshots of all of these for you, but this is important information for the chapter. And then you can see example 1, solving polynomial equations. And you can click on this video, and it will play a video for you. Let me turn on the audio so that you can hear it. Turn on the audio.
Quantity x minus 4 equals 0. B. Quantity x minus 3 times quantity x minus 9 minus 4 equal.
And it'll walk you through the solution. You can also, do you see what that says? It says view this video in Spanish. So if you click on that, it'll take you to a video.
Resuelve cada ecuación a 2x
with
por la...
Spanish audio, in case that is helpful for you. But you can see there's example 1, there's example 2, there's example 3. So all of these examples work that way. After the example comes monitoring progress. That's a fancy way of saying, did you understand what just happened in that example? So if you click on this, if you click start, it will give you questions that you can practice. So it'll say solve this, which is exactly what, if you see, that's exactly what example 1 was about. So I will know from that example that x equals 0 or x equals 1, and I can just keep clicking on through to practice that way. And yes, so example 2, monitoring progress, example 3, monitoring progress, example 4, monitoring progress, example 5, monitoring progress, and then these are all of the exercises that are in the book. All of them. If you wanted to do all of them, hey, then you would know for sure that you understand all the material in the chapter. I'm not recommending that you do that, or I shouldn't say I'm not recommending. I'm not telling you to go do that, but hey, would not hurt at all. So this is how to use the dynamic classroom. I don't think I've ever actually clicked on mid-chapter. What did you learn? Oh, wow, that's helpful. Okay, so this is how, maybe all of your teachers, this is how I decide when to stop for a quiz and when to stop for a test. So if you wanted to know, you were like, hey, you're studying for your quiz, what did you learn in 7.1 through 7.4? Well, there's all the vocab words that you should have learned. Maybe your teacher didn't cover all of them. I don't always cover all of them. But, so here's the vocab words that it'd be good for you to know, and then here are all the core concepts. Adding polynomials, subtracting polynomials, multiplying binomials and trinomials, the FOIL method. These should sound familiar to you if you're in Mrs. Dodge's class. And then look at that, they even have more practice for you about all of these things to help you study for your quiz. Wow! Wow, I had never seen that before, but oh man, that's good. And then look at that, 7.1 through 7.4 quiz. So you could even quiz yourself before the quiz if you wanted to. Fantastic, and I'm guessing that the end of chapter is similar. Please go. Yeah, what did you learn? All the vocab and core concepts with some more practice. Performance tasks. Chapter review. Chapter test. Cumulative assessment is a fancy way of saying everything we've done this year. So chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 6, and chapter 7. Okay, so that, I believe, is all there is to the dynamic classroom. If you find more things, hey, just play with it. Just play with it. See what you can find. See what helps you. So now if we click this little thing, we call it a hamburger sometimes. It looks like 3 lines. We click on that and we go back to the dashboard. You can see all of these resources down here. This is where your teacher will post assignments. If your teacher does online assignments, then you're probably already familiar with this. In my class, we don't do online assignments for reasons. So yes, let's see. If you want to look at the videos, this just shows you, you can see the Algebra 1 videos, you can see the Geometry videos, you can see Algebra 2 videos. We could go back to 4th grade and watch some videos. These are just the videos that go with each chapter for each class, Algebra 1, Geometry, and so on. So that's it. If you're bored and you want to know more math videos, that's a place you can go. Oh my goodness. Come back. Ha ha ha. Accidentally took it away, but that's alright. We go to the hamburger again. Go back to the dashboard. We have Glossary. We went to this a little while ago. So you saw this screen back when we clicked on the vocab words in the dynamic classroom. But here you can look up any word in their glossary will be found here. So let's say we're in geometry, we could click on angle and boom, there's the definition of angle. And of course with your Spanish or other language versions here. If we are in, well here, let's see, let's go to L just to see something else. If we are in, let's see, if we're in algebra, we might see something like this, the leading coefficient. We've talked about what that is. And of course with your Spanish or other language version down here. Okay, so this, yes, you can look through all the letters your heart could possibly desire. Okay, we exit out of that, we are back at the dashboard. The skills review handbook, I had never looked into this before, but this actually looks really helpful, and this would not be a bad idea to do while you're stuck at home, and you want to make sure that you still remember everything from algebra if you're in geometry, or from 8th grade if you're in algebra, or just from September. Make sure you remember the stuff that you know from September. So if you click on a topic, factors and multiples, here are the things that they think you need to know about this topic. If you click on topic itself, it'll pop open like a little worksheet where it goes through some examples and then it has you practice. And if you're like, oh, okay, I practiced, like, great, but I don't know if I got my answers right. Oh, fear not, because the answers are right here. So you can go through and check your work using this as well. And they have this for all sorts of different topics. Like, I mean, here's topic 1, but look, topic 5, polynomials. We're learning about this in algebra right now. So adding and subtracting, multiplying, factoring, you could practice all of these things. It's got examples and practice for you. So this would not be a bad resource at all for any class, just to make sure that you are still understanding everything back from chapter 1 or from even from previous classes. Okay, back to the dashboard. Apps. This is actually really cool. if you click on the apps, the eBook, the book, but digitally, the book for your class can be found on Android, iOS, Mac, PC, Chrome, you name it, it can be on there. Big Ideas Math videos, so example videos and things like that, Android, iOS, web. And then look at that. What? Does that say solutions on it? Oh my goodness. Wow, would you look at that? So if you need help with your homework, here is another resource for you on Android, Apple, or the web, the internet as well. All of these are available on the internet if you don't have a phone that can do apps or something like that. So awesome, awesome resources if you want to use any of these things. What else do we have? Flashcards, those do require to be printed. So if you have a printer, you could check out the flashcards, but otherwise I would just say use the glossary. Okay, the last thing we are going to talk about is the eBook. And oh boy, does the eBook have stuff in it. Oh man. Oh, I really like the eBook. I use this as a teacher tool when I'm planning lessons. Oh, rip headphones. Sorry about that. When you open this, you will probably only see, if you're in algebra, you will only see these books. If you're in geometry, you will only see these books. Depends on what class you're in. I'm gonna open algebra. Doesn't matter. You open the book for your class. It's gonna look the same, just with different material, but everything in it will be the same. Okay, so while it's opening our book, you'll see this little menu over here, this menu button. And if you click on that, and you click on Contents, you can see Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, Chapter 5, Chapter 6. Oh my goodness, you can see selected answers. I believe that is all of the odd-numbered answers. English, Spanish glossary, index reference. Let's, we're in Chapter 7 right now in my algebra class. Let's click on this plus right here, and you can see it looks similar to the dynamic classroom we looked at earlier. But you have your maintaining mathematical proficiency, mathematical practice, each section, study skills, quiz, chapter review, looks very similar to the dynamic classroom. Let's click on 7.4, since that's where we're at in Mrs. Dodge's class right now. So here is 7.4. This is the beginning. This is exactly what your textbook would look like. If you're like, wow, that is really small, I can barely see that. All you have to do is click on the plus right here, and it'll zoom in for you. And you can drag it around to see what you want to see. Changing these will make a difference. So this is how you make sure that you are dragging things around. And let's see, if we want to go to the next page of this book, so these are the explorations that you can do if you would like. Matching factored to standard to non-standard form. You got to put all these together, so which goes with which. These explorations are not a bad idea. Sometimes in my class we do these explorations, and sometimes we skip them if I don't like them or we're running short on time. But you can always go to the book and do these yourself. If we want to go to the next page, we just click on the arrow right here. That'll take us to the next page. Let's zoom out here so that you can see what we're talking about. So here is the 7.4 lesson. It says what you're going to learn, it says the core vocabulary, and then it lists the whole lesson out for you. This is how I create my lessons. My students will notice that this core concept, I literally take a screenshot of this and put it in my notes. Yes, and then these examples are the same ones in the dynamic classroom. But wait a minute, do you see what that says? You see that says tutorial, and it looks like it has a little play button? Well, if I click on the mouse over here on the bottom right, and now I go and I click on this tutorial, it's gonna pop open a video that I can play.
Solve each equation. Part A. 3x times the quantity x minus 6 equals 0.
And
First write the equation.
It'll walk you through how to do an example, and view this video with Spanish audio? No way. I'm sure it's just a bad Google Translate. It's not actually real Spanish audio, is
Resuelve
it?
cada ecuación. Parte A, 3x por la cantidad x menos 6 es igual a 0.
Well, would you look at that? actual good Spanish audio. Fantastic. So those examples, and notice how they're different than the examples you see here. So if you're like, wow, I did not get that example, I don't like it. Fine, that's okay. Go watch a different one right here. So that is helpful. Let's see, I want to scroll up. If you click on something, let's see, let's go back to the mouse. If you click on something so see how my mouse changes? When it's up here, it looks pointy, and when it goes down here, it looks like the wompy hand. If it looks like the hand like this, when you click, notice what it'll do for you. Hey. Aren't you doing it?
When one side of an equation is a polynomial, in fact form, and the other
Stop talking.
side is zero,
Oh gosh, I messed it up.
use the zero.
But okay, it's not going to stop talking. But you get what it would have done if I had not clicked on it twice. It would have. Let's try that again. Go to this mouse, and we're going to click it once. Will it talk for us? Nope. But it will pop up this box about what factored form is. Okay. Click back to the mouse here. Let's try it again. Nope. Nope.
If the product of two real numbers is zero, then at least one of the numbers is zero.
There we go. That's what I was trying to do for you. If you click on it, it will read it out loud for you. So if reading is not your thing, but listening is your thing, that is an option. I showed you about these tutorial videos. If you scroll down past the example, you'll see that same monitoring progress that we talked about during the dynamic classroom section of the video. And if you click on this plus, of course you have to have this highlighted, but if you click on this, you will see a video of exactly how to solve that problem step by step, and you can view it with Spanish audio as well. And I want to show you something else. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the video, oh my goodness, do you see how it says English and it says Spanish? So currently, if I click on something, it'll read it in English. But if I hit the Spanish, oh, did it do it? Yeah, so now it says Spanish. So now if I click on something, it will.
Si el producto de dos números reales es cero, entonces al menos uno de los números es cero.
Ah, it will read it in Spanish. I should change that before I forget, because I will forget, and then I'll be like, whoa, why is everything in Espanol? Okay, alright. Let's see. So yes, examples, and if we click to the next page, we will see examples, exercises. What? So, Mrs. Dodge, as a teacher, she takes her exercises right out of the book. Almost every time. With very few exceptions, she takes her questions right out of the book. And you can even say it says see example 1, see example 2, see example 3, so you can go back and compare what was in example 3 to that problem, and you know that problem, oh, it's going to look like example 3. If your teacher doesn't use this, if they assign different homework, well, hey, you can still use these to practice. You can use these to practice for quizzes or tests or anything like that. Let's see, there's a few more things I want to show you. If we go back to the contents, go to chapter 7, and if we go down to, let's go to chapter review. You'll see, oh my goodness, also for Mrs. Dodge's class, when we review for a test, I give you these examples, and these are the ones on your practice test. And I give you this example, and these are the questions on your practice test. Yes, this is how I make your practice test. But also, I want to point out something else. What does that say? Spanish chapter review? I don't know if you can see it that well. It says Spanish chapter review. So if you are in need of this, if you click on the Spanish chapter review, what? You get a PDF of the same exact chapter review, but everything is en español. Si necesitas. Si quieres. Yes. So that is helpful as well. Is there anything else that I want to talk about from here? I don't think there is. You can make notes. Click or tap anywhere on the page to add a note. Do I have to be in another tool for this? Oh, look at that. I can add a note and I can say, this problem was hard, but remember to add 3. I don't know. But you can write little notes to yourself and then you just hit save when you're done. And you can see over here how it says notes. So this will show a list of all your notes. So if I, let's see, if I do create a note, let's do that. Just in case you want to let yourself know that when we click on notes, we're going to see, oh, hey, look at that. Today we made a note on page 410. This problem was hard. So that could help you. Remember problems that you need to practice, or things that were difficult for you, or tricks that helped you remember how to do a certain problem. Anything that you want to do there. Anything that you highlight will show up here. Bookmarks, so you can bookmark pages that you need to help you with homework. I don't know. Play around with it. Use it how it helps you, and if it doesn't help you, don't use it. Alrighty, I think that is everything that I wanted to show you. Just to make sure, let's go back to the dashboard. Alright, quick costume change because the internet freaked out, but that's okay. What I was about to say was, here is one last thing that I want to show you before this video is over. Up here it says skills, and it lists some things here. So if you click on this, it will take you to what they call their skills trainer, which will give you practice in different skills. So here it says skills trainer, arithmetic with polynomial and rational expressions, add and subtract polynomials of 2 degrees or less. So it'll just give you problems. And I don't know, you type in, I don't know what the answer is, but if you just type in stuff, that is not the right answer, but if you click check answer, it will say, oh, wrong, here was the correct answer, and you can move on. Next. And you can try again, and then you can check your answer, and then you can move on to the next one. And it'll just keep giving you new problems so that you can keep practicing that skill. It's kind of like IXL, but it's where all of your other things, where your other curriculum pieces are already at. So if I click on this skills trainer and I go back here, and I'm in Algebra 1, I can see everything. These are all the skills. Holy moly. These are all of the skills that you could possibly learn in algebra. So here we are in polynomials right now, so maybe I want to know how to add or subtract polynomials of degree 2, multiplying binomials, factoring perfect square trinomials. Oh my goodness, if I click on any one of these things, it'll take me to practice. It'll take me to practice for it. And if I click stop, it'll tell me what my score was, or it'll say, do you need help? If you got too frustrated, watch a video. And then practice again, or we can return to the skills. You can also click on geometry, practice any of the geometry ones. I'm not sure if you can see. Can you go back to kindergarten? I don't know. I don't know if you can, but if you can, hey, you could go algebra, geometry. You could see any of the skills that you might need, even for algebra 2 or for geometry. So all of these are here and at your disposal right now during this weird break time when we're out of school. I would highly recommend doing some of these to keep yourself up on what's happening. You can also, if you go up here, you see grade, but you can also do chapter. This is, we're still in algebra. See how it says algebra up here? So if we go to chapter 1, there will be 1.1, 1.4. We're currently in chapter 7. And look at that. Here's 7.1. Here are all the skills you need from 7.1. Skills you need from 7.2. Skills you need from 7.4. And so on. So that's a good way to target specific chapters if you need that as well. All right, that is now everything I wanted to show you from the online curriculum. If you have questions about any of it, please email me, email your teacher, comment on this YouTube video, or Yeah, tune into my live streams every day, every weekday from 12 to 2 p.m. Yes, I am more than happy to help. Thanks for tuning in. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for being here. Bye.